Good evening. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. I pray that all is well with you, that you've had a great day, and that you're ready to ready to pray and petition our God on tonight. Come on in, let us talk to our God on tonight. It has been a very crazy week with so much happening in the world. Tornadoes in Kentucky. We're praying for those families who are affected. Last I've read, it's like 74 people that has died. So tragic. Persons who died at that Amazon warehouse. I'm not familiar with. I don't recall what state that was in, but I know several people died there. I've been hearing about so much senseless gun violence with a law enforcement officer killing his wife, and then something happened in Philly I was surprised about on yesterday while I was with my TBC family, that it was a guy killed his ex-wife and his former girlfriend and himself behind some kind of foolishness. And it's just, man, this is insane, the amount of things that are taking place, every day. And that's just the same things that we know about. That is excluding the many things that we don't know about. So, family, I can't think of a better moment to solicit our God and to pray and petition our God just for peace and comfort and just for protection, because these senseless acts, in particular with gun violence, we're not immune from them. We're not exempt from them. Just because we love God, that doesn't mean something bad can't happen to us. So we want to pray and ask God to cover us, ask God to keep us, ask God to sustain us and protect us. Because, family, there is so much happening around us. And if you don't need prayer, if you feel like you're in a good space, pray for me. Because I can't get enough of it. So, family, we just want to petition our God on tonight. We want to, just let God know how grateful we are, how thankful we are, as we're in this Advent season coming to an end, next week. And we just want to talk to God on tonight as we do on Tuesday nights. If you have any prayer requests, any prayer petitions, any praise reports, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let us know so we can pray for you or praise God with you for the manifold blessing that God may have bestowed upon you or your family or someone you know. And we want to just pray for those who are having operations. I know of a couple people who had to go under a knife today. I'm praying for them and people who are dealing with the difficulties of the holidays, when they are, maybe mourning someone that they have lost and went home to be with God, and people who are dealing with so much difficulties and heartache. Those are real. We have to be mindful of the world in which we reside. We cannot be so holy, so self-indignant that we ignore the harsh realities of what's in front of us. That there are people who are hurting, people who are dealing with so much pain and disbelief, that don't feel like a joyous and celebratory season for them. We want to pray that God will restore them and not let them fall prey to depression or suicidal thoughts or feeling as if they are not enough or not worthy. We have to check on people and reach out to people and love on people to let them know that we're all in this together. We shouldn't be so so comfortable in our own situations where we don't try to go above and beyond to be resources and advocates for those who desperately need, the hope of God and the peace of God and the comfort of God. So family, let's prepare to go before our God on tonight, and you can enjoy the remainder of your Tuesday evening. Let us pray, guys. Oh God, we do bless you and honor you this night. Truly, oh God, this is the day that you have created. And God, despite the difficulties in which we face, God, despite the heartache and the pain, God, despite the treacherousness and the discomfort that we are facing, God, we're still going to rejoice and be glad in it. Because God, to rejoice is a choice. God, to be glad in you is a choice. So God, we're going to put our hope and our faith and our trust in you, God, because we know, God, that you are with us, and God, you have the power to sustain us, and God, that you can give us peace and comfort to keep pushing forward. Oh God, I pray that you would touch those families, God, in Kentucky, God, who's still dealing with trying to find people under the rubbish, God, of those tornadoes that wreaked havoc in, I think, Western Kentucky. God, last report I heard earlier today confirmed 74 dead, hundreds are unaccounted for. God, I'm praying that you would be with those families, God, who lost it all, God, not only to deal with the loss of a loved one, God, but also to have their homes destroyed and their lives completely upended. And God, the further I read into this story, God, that's a very impoverished area of Kentucky, God, where I think over 25% of the people who live in that town, God, live below the poverty level, God. So you have people who are already destitute, God, and barely making it, God, now have possibly lost it all, God, both their material things in their home, God, but also possibly those they love. Father, have mercy on tonight. God, be with those people as well, God, in that Amazon building that collapsed last week. I recall that I believe over 6 people have died in that situation, God, that people were just doing their normal day, God, not knowing that when they went to work that morning or went to work that afternoon, God, that would be their last day. Oh, God, I'm praying that you would give their families peace, God, in the midst of their pain. Oh God, I'm praying that you would not only be with those at that Amazon facility, God, and those in Kentucky, God, but I'm praying that you would be with every family right now, God, who's lost someone here recently, God, this year, God, from any type of senseless violence, God. So many shootings are taking place all throughout the land, God, and many of them don't get the national notice that some get, God, but the results are the same. God, the pain is the same. God, the family fraction, the family disjointment is the same. So God, I'm praying, God, for every family right now, God, who's had to bury someone here recently, God, from a heinous act of gun violence, God, or who will bury someone, God. I'm praying that you give them peace and give them comfort, and God, that you will restore their hope. Because God, I cannot imagine, God, losing someone that's dear to me, God, in particular losing them to some foolishness like a person just erratically shooting and killing someone just out of pure evil, God. And I know, Father, that people are struggling and grappling with mental illnesses, God, but the accessibility of guns in this country, God, is ridiculous. So, Father, I'm praying that you would allow people to stand up, God, that you allow our gun accessibility, God, to be restricted, God, so that people who don't need to be in possession of a gun, God, won't be easily able to obtain one. Because God, these families, God, who are suffering through loss, God, or in complete agony, God, I can only empathize with what they're going through. Oh God, I'm praying for families, God, who's also had to to bury a loved one this year, God, as we're in this holiday season, God, as emotions are raw, God, as memories are rolling in, God. I'm praying that you would comfort those who are mourning, God, that you would give them joy, Father, for their sadness. That God, you would touch their hearts, God, that you would mend them, God, that you would hold them, God, that you would comfort them, God, in the midst of their pain. Oh God, they desperately need a touch from you. God, I'm praying that you would lift up bowed down hands. God, I'm praying that you would give people, God, the ability, God, to keep pushing, to keep living, to keep going, God, to honor those in which they lost. God, I pray that you would continue to bless those who are in hospitals all throughout the land. As God, this Delta variant and this Omicron variant, God, are on the rise. Father, I'm praying that you would touch those, God, who are battling with illnesses, God. Please, oh God, allow people, God, to do their homework, God, to do their research, God, and to become vaccinated. God, I pray that we will stop and we will cease, God, from the foolishness of so many conspiracy theories and so much mis and disinformation, God, that for many of us, God, we've been getting vaccinated our entire lives, God. So I pray, God, that you would give people the tools, the courage, God, the conviction, God, to protect themselves, God, to protect their families, God, to protect those who are around them. Oh God, I'm praying for nurses and doctors, God, who are still on the front line, God, who I can only imagine are literally exhausted, both physically, emotionally, psychologically, God. Father, I'm praying that you would give them a double portion of your spirit. God, as I heard on the way home this afternoon, God, that the U.S. has reached a grim milestone of over 800,000 people who have died to COVID-19, and that's just those that are recorded. I'm willing to suggest that number is probably higher. So God, I'm praying for all of these families over these last 20 plus months, God, whose lives have been completely upended. God, I'm praying that you would touch them as only you can. Father, continue to sustain our children and protect them, God, as they are in these last couple of days of their Christmas break. God, I'm praying that they finish strong. God, I'm praying that you would keep them safe, God, from any, not only COVID-19, God, but from any violence, God, any bullying, God, anything that can come and harm our children, God. Put your edge of protection around them all. And not only to our children, God, but bless their teachers, God. I pray that you would